All right. I think we're set up. Yes, we are. Okay, so welcome to this channel. I am live coding a real app that will be in production soon. It's not quite in production. Still pretty rough around the edges. It's a Rails app. Yeah, I thought it might be interesting to do this live, and we'll see if anything interesting comes out of it. Really, I think the what I'm trying to do live also that I'm still kind of figuring out is I've been a professional programmer for 25 years, and I have been using AI to sort of help code for the last year, maybe a little bit more, and I'm still trying to figure out kind of where the edges are. What's it good at? What's it not good at? What tasks to give it? How to? It's not just how to prompt it, but like what context to give it, etc. So still figuring all that out. But we're going to be leaning on AI as much as we possibly can, because if I can do more with less effort, then why not? So the app that I'm working on right now is called Haps.io. It is a happy hour directory. I actually had a happy hour directory called Denver Drinks about almost 25 years ago. And it was pretty successful. We had about 10,000 monthly active users, but this was right after the .com bubble, and literally no one was willing to advertise after that bubble burst. So it was very hard to make money. And it was also a very manual process. I used to pay someone to sit in my apartment and actually call bars and restaurants every week to find out if their happy hours have changed, what their happy hours are, that sort of thing. So it wasn't super scalable. I was pretty broke at the time, and I was paying people out of pocket. So ended up shutting it down because I ended up getting a kind of a pretty senior role at a company as a programmer, and just couldn't really keep up both at the same time. But I've been looking for a project to throw LLMs at. The search volume for happy hours is pretty good, and the results are pretty bad. So I am creating a nationwide happy hour directory, and that's what we're working on. So catching this a little bit in the middle of the project, not the middle of the project, but I'm not just kicking it off. I've been working on it for a little while. I have a full-time job, so this is kind of a weekend project, kind of early Saturday morning, Sunday morning kind of project. And right now I have, as you can see, just a very basic outline of the app. Some of the models, again, this is a Rails project, some of the models are built out. I have the kind of basic, the general idea is that we'll scrape venue sites for any happy hours published on the site, and use LLMs to pull that off, to structure the data, and to get it in a way that's searchable, and the way someone will, basically in a useful way to the user. So I'm kind of at a place right now where I have a basic scrape working, but it's not working very well, and I don't have a lot of visibility into what's going on, and I have a couple problems. So I thought it might be good to kind of kick off here, and I can walk through how the app works as I try to debug what's going on. So the basics are, like, I have a CLI, and I can do basic things like so I'm pointing this at New Haven. I'm in New York, just outside the city right now. and I kind of picked a small college town, not too far, to start this off. I wanted to just see sort of like what, how long it takes, how well this goes, how many happy hours can I get, that sort of thing. So we can see downtown New Haven has 31 venues. I went CLI on this. Usually I'd build like admin tooling, web-based admin tooling, but being that it's just me, my thought here is that like I can actually get LLMs to generate more CLI easier. We'll see. So far it's working okay. And part of that is just like not being used to writing a lot of like CLI applications. But I can kick off a scrape, and I did. I kicked off a scrape, and what I'm finding is that the happy hours I'm getting for the venue is actually just the hours of the venue, not the happy hour hours. So we can, let's see, do I have venue loaded up here? Yes. So this is next door New Haven. If we open up the site, it's this venue here. And what I've found is that the venue happy hours, it's pulled 3 happy hours, none of which are happy hours. It's Tuesday through Thursday 4 to 9, Friday, Saturday 4 to 10, and Sunday 4 to 9. That's just the hours of the venue. So that's not great. And so a couple things we can start to debug here. This is our scrape command. Our scrape command just creates a venue website happy hour scrape, and then scrapes it and then drops the log. So creates a scrape, runs a scrape. The algorithm, quick overview there is just that we look for happy hour pages. These are just links to pages with like happy hour specials, things like that. Generally, if there's gonna be a happy hour, your best bet is to go to the specific page that has it there. A lot of venues do that, and that's their best bet. You don't want to scrape the homepage first, because a lot of times the homepage has sort of like just the hours of the happy hour, but not the specials. So we want to actually try to find a happy hour page first, and then if there isn't one, then we're going to scrape the homepage. That's sort of what I've found looking at these websites, is that if there isn't a happy hour page, then a lot of times it'll just be on the homepage. And then if it's not on the homepage, we'll look for menu pages and just parse those. Also, I mean, just a couple other highlights is if there's a PDF, especially if there's like a PDF with the word happy or happy hour in it, it's a good bet that is the best source of information for the happy hour. So we kind of look for those PDFs first. But yeah, that's kind of it. And then there's just a lot of LLM work with, let's see if I can find it here. Where do we actually do the extract? The extract work, we're just trying to get the happy hour description from text. Is the actual call. We're just using 4.0 mini here because it's cheap and I want to go nationwide. But because of that, having to break the prompts down pretty small. So really what the first step is, just can we get a description of the happy hour? So with that, let's look at the let's look at a couple of these prompts, because I am persisting these. So if I look at the last one, we'll see that this is next door. And this is the, I think we're passing in LLM readable text. Is that right? Content, extract. So that's PDF. So again, if we look through our algorithm in this particular case, okay, let's actually back up for a second and look at the scrape itself. So if we look at the scrape, and this is venue happy hour, venue website happy hour scrape. It's fucking terrible name. If we look at the scrape has a log, and so we can kind of see what happened here. So we started a new scrape. There were 0 happy hour pages found. We said we're going to try the homepage. We looked for PDFs. No PDFs. We're checking text. It says it found a happy hour on the homepage. So now it says complete. And it's just a dirty liar. It's not actually there. So we know we're on the home page. So let's see what exactly we're giving it. I have a few ways. Like, I don't pass the entire body in the prompt because it's a lot of tokens. And not only, it's not just cost, but it's also just confusing to just the less I can give it, or the less I can sift through for the prompt, the more likely it's gonna to find what I'm looking for. But I want to say scrape happy hour pages, and this is, it says it found no happy hour pages. So then we go to the home page, and we're gonna scrape that page. Okay, and then so we have the page. There's a little guard there to make sure we're not scraping the pages again. And then yes, we are passing in the LLM readable text. So let's look at again this LLM call. So we'll look at the LLM call, and then the LLM call messages is this. So there's no happy in here. If we look at, I'm looking for the section here. We can kind of see if you can make this out. Maybe I can kind of pretty print this a little bit better. No. How about if I JSON parse this? No. What? Is that not parsable? Oh. LLM messages 0. Something's up there. Oh, maybe it's not valid JSON. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't look like it closes. So the bottom line is that there are some hours in here, and the LLM is saying those are the happy hours. They're not. So what I'm going to do is ask GPT to fix it for us. So LLM LLM text description. So I'm gonna pass in this guy. So let's go to, let's see if 4.0 can help us. I'm having a problem with a LLM prompt to 4.0 mini. Here is the prompt. The problem is searching. I am asking for a happy hour description given content from a web page. But I am getting back the hours of the venue. Here is an example. Let's go to grab this. So that's an example, and then so let's put in some dividers here. Here is the prompt. How can I improve prompt so that if a happy hour is not present, or how do I improve the prompt so that GPT-4o mini does not return the venue, the hours in which the venue is simply open as the happy hour, as the happy hour times. Something like that. Not the best prompt. I'm having trouble with an LLM prompt for many. Yeah, here is the problem. Here is an example of a page. And then let's look at the LLM response. LLM call response. Here is here's a previous response from 4o mini. All right, let's see what it gives us. Again, not a great prompt, but let's see. General opening hours, because it's not confidently identifying explicit happy hours, you need to make it explicit to exclude regular hours unless they are labeled as happy hours. Okay. Add a constraint on hours parsing. Updated system message. Updated instruction. Okay, let's see if that works. And then take my new instructions. Okay, did that fuck that up? Yes, it did. Okay. Okay, so now that we have a new prompt, we can just run this on the console. Let's exit out for a refresh. And we want, let's find our venue again. There's our venue. So we have venue. These were the messages. Yeah. Okay. So let's just, I think we're calling that on homepage. So what we can say is venue website get happy hour, get homepage, and that's going to have LLM readable text. And now what we can say is LLM calls get happy hour get. Is it get? Is that what it? Sorry. Yeah, get happy hour description from text. Okay. Happy hour description from text, and then how do we call this guy again? New execute content. Okay, so let's just say new. This is going to be our call. Okay, so when we pasted that in, we broke something. There we go. Let's see if it'll let us do that again. Great. Okay, so there's our end. Mismatch end. What is the problem? Mismatch end with class. So we have a module class. Let's see. Reformat that. It looks like we're fixed. Okay, so we have a call dot execute, and now we have we want to get the LLM readable test. So we'll say content equals that. Readable text content equals that. Call dot execute content. Okay. Okay, that's better. We got this null in between some new lines and some back ticks. So at least we're not getting a happy hour. So that seems like a positive change. I just want to look at the diff here. Checking. So it was definitely a lot more bare bones. Ignore unrelated text, such as regular business hours, general events or promotions that are not part of a happy hour, non-happy hour menu items. Return exactly null. Okay. It's interesting that, yeah, why do we get those new lines in there? I guess we can strip those out. And then let me improve my formatting a little bit. I'm curious what changed here. So if we come back in and just that. Oops. Okay, so just repeating what we told it up here. Do not return the venue's regular opening hours unless they are explicitly labeled as happy hour. Do not infer happy hours from business hours. Okay. So, cool. Oh, and we lost this guy. So, response. These are probably worth tests, but I don't know. I haven't tested them. It's like they're changing enough where I just kind of have to play with them live. And but some of this like null response parsing is probably worth dialing in. Maybe creating like an LLM response that that checks for null. This response size is kind of garbage. And like, let's just look at the base class here, LLM call. So let's take a look So we're just pulling the content. That's our response. So I'm curious now, if we come back here, we have our call. Our call has a response. What is parse response? Parse response doesn't help us. And then squeeze doesn't do much. Really, well, let's see what GPT can do for us here. Or not GPT, let's see what Claude can do for us here. So I'm going to see what my buffer situation is. I have a lot in memory right now. I'm going to delete a bunch of buffers. So I'm not sending a lot of tokens to Claude that I don't need to be. And then I'm going to replace this with LLM call the base class. And now, oops, I'm going to open Aider. And so let's just make sure, let's see where we are. Okay. I'm going to add that, so that's staged in Git. And now, here is a sample response from GPT. Parse out any backticks or I don't want any new lines. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I want here because, I mean, the response could have valid new lines in it. Yeah, please parse out any leading or trailing backticks or new lines. Do not remove any new lines in the body of the response. Something like that. Let's see, response. That response. I don't know why that's looking like that. Let's see what it does. All right, so this, now we really need to just run this and see if we're still getting happy hours. So we'll run it on, okay. Yeah, we'll run it on a site that we know has a happy hour and then see what happens there. So parse response, blank. So that didn't change. Clean the response, G sub, so it's leading. I'll have to play with that. Honestly, can barely read that. And then we're gonna strip. Okay, so really it's worth extracting probably some little object here that we can actually test, because I don't want to run an LLM call every time, you know, to test this logic. But this is the parsed response, right? So let's look here. So I'm kind of curious with that there. Call dot parse. I don't know if it's going to pick up that change. It's not. So what was that? Call ID exit LLM calls happy hour description from text, find 89, and then call dot parsed response is nil. Okay. Again, not feeling super confident about that because I don't have any tests. I think what, yeah, let's add this, and now I want to say, yeah, let's just extract a new model specifically for the response, and that way we can dial it in. So let's create a couple files: touch app model LLM response, and then let's touch test models LLM response test, and let's pull those into context. LLM response, and then LLM response test, and then let's. Oh, can we dial this in? Actually, I do have tests on this. I kind of forgot that. What? But it's not on the call itself. It's on. Okay, let's think about what the stubbing on that would look like. So here, if I wanted to actually execute the call, no, I think a humble object would be better here. It's going to be cleaner. This stubbing these complicated calls to to GPT is just kind of messy and ugly. Let's do this. Okay, so LLM response, and then this is just gonna be a class LLM response, and then we have, let's look at our test. Active support test, so we'll just pull in test helper, and then active support test case. So LLM response test require test helper. We're gonna test LLM response, and that's active support. What is it? Active support test case. Okay. Test case, and then let's see. What do we have? What do we have in context here? LLM call text. We don't need you, so let's buffer delete test call test. Okay. And so we have the call. The call is the call is doing the def parsed response. So we want to say extract the logic for LLM call parsed response into LLM response, and write tests to cover it in LLM and LLM. It's not giving me that. Add tests to cover it in LLM response test. So let's see what happens there. So I've been finding that I really like the flow of asking it to write tests first. When it's something scoped like this really well, I can kind of just like shotgun it, and it's not bad. I mean, as you can see, like it sort of it knows how to dial in the edge cases of something pretty simple like this. But we need to double check it to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to. So returns nil for blank responses. Great. LLM response parse nil, parse empty, parse null, all null. Gets JSON back. That's fine. Strips leading and trailing backticks from code blocks. Great. That looks really good. Strips language identifier. Okay, so this is great. So if it's like a markdown block, it's going to take that stuff out. That's exactly what we want. Returns clean string from non-JSON responses. That's great. Yeah, this is the case we were running into. And then preserves new lines in the body of the response. Perfect. So this test is great. Did it actually do? It did. So it created the a class method called parse on LLM response. It shoved the logic into there, and then it actually made the change to call that in the LLM call. So I don't know why this is asking me to. Honestly, I'm not really sure what this is asking me for. I just keep seeing this bin Rails. Do you want to add the file to chat? No, I don't think so. But then it asked me to run the test. I'm going to run the test. And it's green. So we're good to go. Let's just run all of our tests. Make sure we didn't break anything. Great. And then let's just review our LLM call, and that's doing the right thing. Let's see if we even need this anymore. Parse response. Yes, we want that on the LLM call. That's great. Now if we go back over, let's just run this one more time in the real world. Call parse response is nil. That's very much what we want. Great. All right, we're already added. Let's just review our changes real quick. We improved the prompt and the LLM response. Okay. Improve happy hour description prompt. Also extracted in a LLM response object. Great. How much more time? How far do I want to go with this? I think let's scrape a happy hour. So venue list, downtown. Who do I know has a happy hour? Let's see. I think Elm City Social does. This one's interesting. I think it goes to this group happy hour page and really wants it to be there. So this is kind of a flaw in the algorithm, though this is a link to, and it's a PDF. Let's see what happens. What's the ID there? I broke my table. Not sure why. Oh, Table size exceeds currently set width. Defaulting to vertical orientation. Okay. Elm City Social is 80. So let's say scrape 80. Oh, scrape venue 80. Yes. So right now, I forgot to run this as in debug log level, so we're not going to get much output, but we can go back over and look at it in the console. And we can kind of monitor that here. If we go to BinRail C and we look for the venue website happy hour scrape dot last dot log. Oof. Well, that's not good. Okay, so it's starting to do something. So it took a while. Okay, so it is printing. Something just took a while. Maybe sometimes it like these pages can be very slow, and there's something I haven't quite dialed in with the browser where it does. I have it so it's not waiting for all the assets. Like it doesn't ask for the image assets and like the fonts and stuff like that. But the page still can take a long time to load. So let's just look though. We didn't find any PDFs. So this is a problem. It is this is a problem with the algorithm. It captures this like group happy hour, and then it's just like, oh, we found a happy hour page. We're gonna look there, and then. It does say it found the happy hour. That's not good. So last, we're going to say happy hour description. Yeah, this is... yeah, this isn't great because it is pulling information from here. So it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm on a happy hour page, and then there's information on what could be a happy hour, but it's not the regular happy hour. It's this group happy hour offer that you can kind of do with your friends. So that's not great. What venue ID were we? We were 80. So venue, so we'll say venue equals venue find 80 venue dot happy hours. Yeah, and so yeah, this isn't great. But I mean, it is saving. We could say, I think it's specials. Is it? No, food specials. Food specials. No, did it pull drink specials? Drink specials. No, see, it didn't even put much there. Happy hour times. Yeah, it doesn't. What is that? That's, I don't know where it got that. It was Monday through Thursday. Oh, available Monday through Thursday. So not great. Yeah, I think we'll probably have to do something, just like a second pass with the prompts to say like, okay, here's the happy hour that we got. and then kind of it's an eval, I believe it's called, where we can say, here's what we got. Here was the original input. Like, here's a checklist to go through and make sure that you're actually finding like a valid happy hour. So that's not great, but I am kind of, I think, this is Sunday. All right. So I think next time, I'm about done for today. But I think probably the move is, yes, the prompts need to be dialed in, but I'd like to do some more work at this point on getting the information that we have onto the site. This is not live yet, so it doesn't matter too much. But I really would prefer to have something real to kind of start to play with. My tooling kind of sucks. Like, the CLI is nice because it's fast. I can have something pretty quickly, but it's also a little clunky, and I just end up on the console a lot. I'm not sure that would be much different at this stage if I had like a real admin website, but that's something to think about. And I don't know. I'll come up with a to-do list for next time.